How many did you save?
Just like a dream.
You did the only thing you could do. And you lost.
Like a dream.
Look, we're still in this thing.
The day you walked away.
But we have no idea what we're dealing with.
Unfortunate.
Things are getting worse around here, aren't they?
Boyd, we're out of food.
Too many things are changing. Yeah. I have to remember.
The game here is rigged. Why can't they leave us alone?
No matter what this place throws at us, we're gonna find our way home. Everybody just talks about how afraid they are of dying. Well, I don't think that's the worst thing that can happen to you here. Hello?
Like a dream.
You looking for these?
Into my life.
You can't save them all.
But things are really how they seem.
September 22nd, ladies and gentlemen, from season 3 is just around the corner. And I know, just like you, I cannot wait until this series returns. Definitely my favorite series in the entire world running right now. And welcome one, welcome all. Sorry for the delayed start. We had some tech issues on my end, and I deeply apologize for the late start. I am sorry for that. But so awesome to see you guys here this evening. We have a Fromville Friday, impromptu Fromville Friday stream this evening. I used to like doing Fromville Fridays. It used to be one of my favorite nights to stream. Unfortunately, during the House of the Dragon coverage, we had to stop doing them. But now that that is over and we are diving full force into From, I figured let's bring back some Fromville Fridays every once in a while and just dive into it. Just dive into it. So the Friday streams will probably be a little more impromptu. Might not be every single Friday, but as many Fridays as I'm able, we will do a Fromville Friday. But welcome one, welcome all. Let's see who we have in the awesome chat here this evening. Scrolling up, I see Julie Barbara is in the house. What is up, Julie? Awesome to see you, my friend. Julie absolutely killed it on panel with us during our last live call-in show. And I'm looking forward to the next live call-in show. I'm looking forward to getting Julie on here again. I had a blast hanging with Julie and talking From. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Greek Girl in the house. Welcome, welcome, Greek Girl. Good to see you. We got Daryl Seymour in the house. What is up, Daryl? Welcome, welcome. We got Kiwi Skirt in the building. Welcome, Kiwi. Welcome. We got Delsenia in the house. What is up, Delsenia? Always good to see you as well, my friend. I hope you are doing well this evening. Hope everybody is doing well this evening. We got Scarlet Fever in the house. What is up, Scarlet Fever? Also smashed it on our live call-in stream. You guys know Scarlet, though. Awesome, awesome stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing live call-in shows, if not every week, at least every other week on our either Tuesday or Wednesday show will be live call-ins now that we're getting closer to From. And I love getting you guys on the panel and talking From with me. It's always a blast. We love hearing from the chat. It's not fun just talking to ourselves all day. We want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? What are you looking forward to in season 3? What storylines are you hoping to see unravel the most, etc.? Always fun hearing from you guys. We got Dr. Deb in the house. What is up, Dr. Deb? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Dana Marie. What is up, Dana? Always good to see you as well. Hashtag Team Homemade Lasagna. None of that fake Stouffer stuff like Crazy Mad would have you believe. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Hector in the house. What is up, Hector? Good to see you, my friend. Tabby and Tilly have some kind of battle going back through centuries. Oof, I like it. And Donna and sister will eventually be able to leave by boat from Fromville after she delivers Julie to Tilly. Oof, we got a feud bubbling up. Okay, Hector, I see where you're going. I like it. I like it. I love new theories. We got Robert Saunders in the house. What is up, Robert? Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Always fun hearing from Robert, too. Robert's got some of the coolest theories when it comes to From. Welcome, welcome. Got Wolf Spear in the building. What is up, Wolf Spear? I'm sitting on the couch and drinking a Stella. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I hope you are enjoying it, my friend. I hope you are enjoying both the couch and the Stella. And yeah, I mean, I suppose it is a good day. Friday is officially here. The weekend is upon us. So if you're going to kick back and enjoy one, a Friday night is definitely a good time to do it. So welcome, Wolf Spear. Hope you're enjoying it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got BK in the building. What is up, BK? Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well this evening on this fine, fine Friday. We got Vic in the house. What is up, Vic? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Scrolling down, let me see what else I can see. I see Seba's in the house. What is up? Good to see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. On Reddit, Ellis was voted the most hot. Oh, okay. And I totally get that. Jade was a very close second. I will say the cast of From, there are some incredibly good-looking people on the cast of From. That is for sure. It's a good-looking cast. It's a good-looking cast. So can't argue there. Cannot argue there. Welcome, welcome. We got Illegal Mods in the house. What is up, Illegal Mods? Good to see you. I like the name, Illegal Mods. Gotta watch out for them Illegal Mods. Got Jerry O'Brien. What is up, Jerry O'Brien? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you as well. I see Soph in the building. What is up, Soph? Good to see you. Welcome. Got Kromonacle, also known as Fletcher WWE Fanatic, in the house. What is up, Kromonacle? Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. Got Mandy in the house. My 18-year-old daughter thinks Ellis is the best looking. I prefer Jade, though. Okay, so it came down between Ellis and Jade, huh? Those were the top two. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. We got Bill D in the house. What is up, Bill D? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Nisha in the house. What is up, Nisha? Good to see you as well. Hope everybody is enjoying their Friday evening. We got Frankenstein in the building. What is up, Frankenstein? Love the name. Love the profile picture. Young Frankenstein is one of my personal favorite movies. Love that movie. We got Michael DJ in the house. What is up, Mike? Always good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready for From Season 3, just around the corner now. We're getting closer and closer now, guys. Closer and closer now. We are less than 1 month away. Less than 1 month away. We got Buddha Cafe in the house. What is up, Buddha Cafe? Good to see you as well. Scrolling down. And if I missed anybody, I am terribly sorry. I try to catch everybody, but sometimes the thing skips and I miss one or two. But if I did miss you, welcome one, welcome all. So glad to have each and every one of you here. I see Will Smalls down there as well. See Everlyn as well. What is up? See Coco and Choco in the house. What is up? Good to see you guys as well. Hope everybody is doing well this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I see CJ. This is where it's at. What's up? What's up, folks? What's up, folks? Indeed. What is up, folks? Indeed. I see Summer Girl down there as well. What is up, Summer Girl? Always good to see you in the house. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing well indeed. Indeed. Tilly mentions having 4 children and 7 grandchildren. The number 47 appears inside the RV just as the song starts before Abby appears. Karchi also references the 74th book of Revelations. Yes, absolutely. And it's been very interesting to see what From is doing with their numerology and their number kind of codes they're throwing in there. Obviously, anyone who watched Lost and watches From, these two shows share a ton of similarities in terms of some of the mystery aspects that they're weaving. And Lost also was very prevalent when it came to cryptic numbers and what they might potentially mean. And From is definitely following in that footsteps, not only with the 4 and the 7, that we see all over the place, but also with the numbers and the dates that Tabitha sees, or that we see as the audience when she has the vision of her in the lighthouse. So numbers are definitely playing a big part in some way, shape, or form. But what is up with all these 4s and 7s? I know I've wondered it. I know we've spent many streams talking about it. It's incredibly cryptic. We are seeing these 4s and these 7s all over the place. Like you said, it's in the RV, on the little radio, and even one thing we even found, if you go to the episode when Tabitha eventually does make it into the lighthouse, if you remember the playing cards that were on the stairs as she's going up, she gets to one part and she sees playing cards, a toy truck, a glass bottle, and all that. If you zoom in close enough, the playing cards that are sitting on the steps, one is a 4, one is a 7. So they're throwing these 4s and 7s all over the place. And I like the Father Cautry reference in particular, especially when you look at the episode titles of of season 3. Now, IMDb is not always 100% accurate, but sometimes they are. Sometimes they are 100% accurate, but not every time. But at least right now, if you go to IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, we apparently have the episode titles for season 3. And when we get to the final 3 episodes of season 3, episode 8, 9, and 10, we have for the chapter titles, Revelations chapter 1, Revelations chapter 2, and then Revelations chapter 2 again. Now, I'm not sure if that's a typo, if this one's meant to be chapter 3, or if 9 and 10 are maybe part 1 and part 2 of a one big episode split into 2 different parts. But I thought it was very interesting that we had Revelations chapter 2 twice. But of course, when I heard Revelations, I instantly also thought of Father Cautry and his theory that they could potentially be living the actual 74th book of Revelations, that the actions of this town, the characters of this town, they are actually making up the story that will comprise the 74th book of Revelations. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. And seeing the Revelations title here, I cannot wait till we get to the end of season 3 and see what kind of reveals are going to be, because it looks like we're going to get some big reveals in season 3. Definitely looks like we're going to get some big reveals and finally some answers. Finally some definitive answers to some of these more pressing mysteries, which I know a lot of people do want some answers, and I do too. I definitely want to see where this thing is going to go. Definitely want to see where this thing is going to go. But yeah, maybe we will find out a little bit more about the 4s and the 7s in season 3. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about Father Cautry and his Book of Revelations theory. Will that come into play? Could that potentially be what the episode title is referencing? Or is the episode title Revelations simply because it's just going to be a big reveal? Could be either, could be both, could be a dual meaning, as I know Julie is very fond of the dual meaning that some of these episode titles have. I am as well. I definitely concur with that. A lot of the episode titles that we've seen in the past have had dual meanings at the time. So yeah, I guess we'll see what Revelations means. And if we see some more about these 4s and 7s, will we see more about these 4s and 7s? We got Noel Cox. Hello, hi all. My theory that the boy in white wanted to separate Tabitha from one of her kids, and pushed her out the window, but she didn't die because she was touched earlier by the Onkui children. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So you think maybe the boy in white could have potentially been trying to eliminate Tabitha? That's an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought. I mean, I suppose anything is possible in a show like From. The dialogue before the boy in white pushes Tabitha out the window was always kind of not the most telling, but some of the most interesting parts of that scene. The way he specifically says, "I'm sorry, this is the only way." And that has me, thinking, what exactly is this boy in white planning? Is he sending Tabitha back to the real world because he is putting her on the path because he knows she needs to fulfill a certain part of his plan? Is he hoping that she will reunite with Eloise? Or, to your theory, was he maybe trying to eliminate her? That's a very interesting thought. It's a very interesting thought. But yeah, I don't know, something about that dialogue of him stating, "I'm sorry, this is the only way." It seems like he has a bigger plan in motion for Tabitha. But I guess we're going to find out.
sorry. I really am. This is the only way.
Oof. This is the only way. I am sorry. Incredibly cryptic, and then boom, right out the side of the lighthouse. Yeah, I mean, Tabitha's storyline, I feel like it's definitely one of the most anticipated. I feel like a lot of us are very much dying to see what's going to happen with Tabitha. And I saw a comment in the chat earlier that I do kind of half agree with, actually. I can't find it now, but I saw someone in the chat earlier was saying that maybe showing Tabitha in the season 3 trailer might have kind of already ruined the mystery a little bit because it reveals a little bit too much of where she ends up. And to a certain extent, I can kind of understand that. Trailers can be tricky at times. Sometimes they can reveal a little bit too much. Sometimes they reveal things that maybe you would have liked to see in the actual episode. So I was very much wondering going into the season 3 promotion. Wondering when we do start getting trailers for season 3, will they even show us any Tabitha scenes, or will they specifically keep Tabitha out of all the trailers to kind of keep the suspense alive, for the audience to figure out where she might end up, how she ended up there. But yeah, so I definitely understand that sentiment in terms of, sometimes trailers can spoil some things. It happens, unfortunately. But I thought that was an interesting thought. But I was always wondering what they're going to show. How much Tabitha are they going to show? And they don't show a whole lot. I mean, they only show a few shots of her, but they certainly show enough shots to at least kind of pretty much confirm that she is in the real world. I know that was a big discussion coming out of season 2, whether or not Tabitha was actually in the real world or if she was in some other, it was being referred to as some kind of level 2 of Fromville place. I always thought she was in the real world. I just feel like story-wise, it makes for a much more compelling story to have one character make it out, especially with her family still stuck back in Fromville, and her, having this alternate storyline, this concurrent storyline that's running while you have everybody in the town, and you also have this one character that's trying desperately to find their way back into the town. It just adds a very interesting aspect to the show. And writing wise, it kind of splits up the cast a little bit. You get to explore 2 different worlds now inside Fromville and in the real world where Tabitha is. So it just opens up a ton of possibilities for for the writers, I would imagine, and for us the fans to kind of theorize what exactly is going to happen to Tabitha, and where she ends up, where is she going to be going, will she make it back into the town, will she not? So I very much am looking forward to her storyline. I do think it's going to add a very interesting aspect to the show that we haven't really seen before, because it's been so centrally focused on the town for these first 2 seasons. Now we're really opening up the world a lot more. We're kicking the doors open. We're getting to new locations, both inside Fromville and outside Fromville. So yeah, I love this storyline. I think Tabitha's story is going to be probably one of the most exciting. Probably one of the most exciting. I will eventually watch Wayward Pines. I hear the first season is amazing. It is, Daryl. It absolutely is. Season 2, less so. I'll be honest. Just in my opinion, season 2 of Wayward Pines is nowhere near as good as the first one, because when Wayward Pines came out, it was meant to be a 1-season miniseries. It was never meant to have 2 seasons. But since it was so popular, the network just couldn't help themselves. They had to do a season 2. But since it was only structured as a 1-series show and it was only meant to be 1 season, they revealed all the mysteries at the very end of season 1. So when season 2 comes around, there's just really no mystery aspect left to the show. It's just nowhere near as good as the first one, because you kind of already know the big, quote unquote, the big reveal, which I won't spoil here, obviously, for anyone who hasn't seen it. But season 1, at the very least, is worth watching. If you like you'll definitely at least like season 1 of Wayward Pines, and maybe you'll like season 2. I mean, it is subjective. Storytelling is very much subjective. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean you guys might not like season 2 as well. But at the very least, season 1's worth watching for sure. For sure. Let's see what else we got. We got BK. The first two seasons, the episodic synopsis were released alongside them. They're holding their cards closer to the chest this season. No synopsis. Very good point. Yeah, we're getting some of the episode titles, but we're not getting any description for the episode titles. No synopsis, nothing whatsoever. Which, yeah, I mean, is that, like you said, them playing their cards a little closer to the chest in season 3? Maybe they just don't want to spoil too much. Maybe there's some of these synopsis maybe spoil a little bit too much from the episode. So maybe that's why we're only getting the titles and not the actual synopsis with it. But yeah, that is a good point. It's maybe that's telling as to what is in store for us, maybe, for sure. I'm sure we'll get an answer that will lead to more questions, which is what should happen. I don't want the big answers already way too soon for that. And I think it'll be a nice little mix of both. Hearing from John Griffin, the creator and writer of From, the head writer, just him saying that the quote unquote true nature of the town will come into focus. That in and of itself has me incredibly excited. But I'm expecting a little bit of a mix of both. I definitely don't think we're going to get all of the huge, big answers in season 3, nor will we at any point, to be honest. They did recently do an interview, and they talk about how the mysteries will kind of gradually reveal themselves over time. But the main focus of the story isn't exactly the mystery, it's the characters involved, which is, to be said for just about any story out there, any mystery heavy story. At the end of the day, the characters are the most important part, and the mystery kind of unveils itself and unwraps itself as the story progresses. And it looks like that's the kind of blueprint that they're playing with for From, or at least according to their interview anyway. It seems like that's the kind of playbook they're playing with here, that we will be getting answers. The answers will slowly reveal themselves as time goes on, but it's not going to be one of those things where there's just this crazy, massive, big reveal in the final episode that reveals everything. Seems like it's going to be a slower, more gradual reveal process. And I think that's better, personally. Let's give it to us slow as opposed to all at once. I'm fine with it. Like I said, up until this point, the creators and the writers of From, they have produced 2 kick-ass seasons. Now, yes, some people want some more answers, which I totally understand, and it does look like we're going to at least get some in season 3. But considering how just high quality these first 2 seasons are, I definitely have faith in the people behind From. It seems like they know exactly what they're doing and where they're going. They do have a plan. They already know how it's going to end, which I know was a big question on a lot of fans' minds. Do they already have an ending in mind, or are they just kind of winging it? Does seem like they have a definitive place as to where this story is going to end. It's filling in the in-between, and that's pretty much the same with most stories. You want to know where you're starting, you want to know the middle big climactic point, and you want to know the ending. You want to have the rough outline of this story, and the in-between, those are the things that you kind of fill in along the way. But it seems like they have the overarching plot and the answers already well in hand, or at least John Griffin does. It doesn't seem like he's sharing them with a lot of people. I know the cast, they have no idea what is coming next. They talked about that a little bit in one of their latest interviews, that none of the cast members know anything that is going to be happening in the future of the show. All they get is the material that they're supposed to know for their scenes, and that's it. That is all they get. They have no idea where the show is going. They have no idea any of the big reveals. They are just as much in the dark as we are, it seems. They only get the scenes and the information that they need to film their scenes. So that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting that the John Griffin is keeping a lot of things close to the chest. John Griffin and Jeff Pinger. They're keeping a lot of things close to the chest. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's pretty interesting to know that even the actors are wondering what the heck's going to be coming next. Even they don't know. So I like that. Interesting aspect. In numerology, the number 4 is often associated with practicality, decision-making, strength, and diligence. Ooh, interesting. I did not know that myself. I did not see. You learn something new every time you go live with this awesome chat. Yeah, I would love to know what 7 correlates with as well. And if there's something that they're trying to tell us there. But yeah, they are hitting us over the head with these 4s and 7s, it seems like. They're all over the place. We're seeing tons of 4s and 7s. Welcome. I heard a theory that it might be a simulation. Going back to the map, could they possibly be in sleeping pods in their actual state? They are from when you die, you wake up like Tabitha, and that has been a pretty interesting theory. The simulation theory has been it's been around for a little bit. We've talked about it a little bit on the show. It was pretty prevalent in season 2, at the beginning of season 2, anyway. And still is. There's still a lot of people out there that think the simulation theory could very well be what's going on here, and it could be. It very well could be. We get a very interesting Easter egg pertaining to Jade and his kind of high-tech quantum entanglement freaking technology that he recently sold off that made him obscenely rich. A quantum computing algorithm, as he puts it, that his company recently sold. And some people think that that Easter egg was specifically dropped in there because maybe Jade's technology, in some way, shape, or form, is powering this simulation. So I think it's a pretty interesting theory. I'm not the biggest fan of the simulation theory myself personally, just because I feel like if it is revealed that this is a simulation, a lot of the mystical and the magical elements, they start to be not as magical and not as mystical, really. Once you find out that things are being scientifically programmed to happen this way, I just feel like it takes away a little bit for the magic of the show, just for me personally. So I really hope it's not a simulation. I hope it's something a little different, but it definitely could be. I mean, there are some signs throughout the show that point to this potentially maybe being a simulation. So yeah, the simulation theory is a popular one. It's definitely a popular one for sure. For sure. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. I've only looked at the lyrics of the songs that have been played, not the rest of the list that has people compiled. I didn't notice 4s and 7s, but now I'll look. What'd Robert Saunders find? Robert Saunders is always finding something. Always finding something. I do know, if you have had time to go through all of the lyrics of each song of the show, but 4 and 7 also appear in a majority of the songs. Ooh, interesting. So we got 4s and 7s popping up on the show and in the songs. And that's the thing. Whenever you hear about the music in From, it's very interesting to see the music that they specifically select for the show. And I know a lot of other people have noticed this as well, but you notice there's a ton of music that is always referencing dreams. There is just so much dream music that is sprinkled throughout the show. In the trailers, in the actual show itself, there's tons of music that are referring to dreams and dream states. And I know some people have thought that might be some kind of sign, that this could be some kind of dream state world, which I suppose is possible. But I am noticing a lot of the dream-themed songs that they do sprinkle in the show every once in a while. I think Tabitha is part of a bigger plan. Everyone there has certain skills to make their town run better, or many do. The people who are there for a reason. And yeah, and I definitely don't think that they are chosen at random. I mean, I know at times it might appear that they're just pulling random people into Fromville, but when you look at the kind of people that do get stuck here, it doesn't seem like it's random. Like Christie's fiance doesn't just show up in Fromville on a whim. That is not a coincidence. That's not a mistake. She was brought there. And I think each of them were brought there in a similar fashion to, like you said, maybe fulfill a certain role within the town. Because yeah, you got a doctor, you got just about everything you need to kind of keep this town functioning in a civilized society, from a sheriff, a doctor, and stuff like that. So yeah, it does seem like people that are getting pulled here specifically. It doesn't feel like it's just pulling random people in. But if that's the case, yeah, what's Tabitha's role? What exactly is Tabitha's role? What is some of these other characters' roles? We see some of these characters instantly have a connection to this place as soon as they arrive. Like Elgin, he's having a dream and premonition as soon as he arrives in Fromville. Jade, as soon as he gets to Fromville, pretty early on, he's getting plagued with visions of this symbol. It seems like some people are Sarah, another one, being able to tap in and hear some of these voices that are communicating to her. Some people are incredibly connected to this place as soon as they arrive. And it makes you think that yes, they do have some kind of specific role that they're going to be filling on the show and within the narrative. And I think that's the case for most of them. But if that is the case, like you said, what role is Tabitha meant to fill? I don't know. It does seem like up until this point that Tabitha's storyline is sort of mirroring Miranda's, Victor's mother, in terms of them going down similar paths and trying to accomplish similar things. Like before Tabitha, it was Victor's mother who was trying to go to the lighthouse, trying to rescue the Ankui children, trying to find a way out. And now we have, all these years later, Tabitha kind of following in her footsteps. Now, unfortunately, we saw how Miranda's path ended, at least according to Victor. He says he found her dead body next to the faraway tree. But Tabitha has had a little bit more success, where Tabitha actually makes it out of Fromville. But we are seeing the history repeating thing happen over and over again, almost like there are certain roles that need to be filled within this town. Like before Jade, we had this Christopher character. Christopher was being plagued with the same vision that Jade is being now plagued with. He's seeing the same symbol. So it seems like Christopher was the Jade before Jade. Ethan and Victor have a ton of similarities between their storylines and how they're unfolding. So we are seeing a lot of characters seem to mirror other characters from the past, almost like, yes, there needs to be specific roles filled within the town. Maybe. Tabitha was supposed to end up in the real world much later, which I think means at the end of season 3, I think season 3 will be half of her originally planned storyline for season 4. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, maybe she was potentially leaving too early. I don't know what's going on with Tabitha. I do think that wherever the boy in white sent her, and it does seem like he sent her to the real world, I think he's sending her there for a very specific reason, to bring someone or bring something back to Fromville, which I'm hoping is going to be Eloise related and Victor's sister related. But no, that's interesting that maybe she was supposed to end up in the real world a little bit later. I don't know. That's interesting. Interesting thought. Maybe. Did you notice that the lighthouse lamp glass is somewhat broken? Yes. Maybe someone tried to extinguish the fire like Boyd's torch, maybe a portal. And that is exactly what I think as well. Yes, once Tabitha does eventually get up to the lighthouse, we can see where the flame is in the middle. Tons of broken glass around it. And yes, it looks like someone tried to put this fire out. And it instantly makes you think of the Boyd torch, doesn't it? Because Boyd specifically needed to light up that torch inside those ruins to reveal that structure where he originally encountered Martin and the worms, and where Julie, Mari, and Randall were kind of held captive in that dreamlike state. So yeah, I instantly kind of thought of that as well. Could the lighthouse itself, could that flame at the lighthouse potentially be what's powering Fromville entirely? We still have no idea what this place is, what's creating it, but just the way that the mechanics worked behind that torch that Boyd had, that specific torch needed to be lit inside the radius of those ruins for that place to appear. What if something similar is happening with the lighthouse? What if the flame at the lighthouse is the actual beacon that is powering Fromville, and maybe putting that flame out will all of a sudden reveal Fromville to the rest of the world, that all of a sudden the veil will be lifted maybe and it won't be hidden anymore? Was always an interesting thought. But no, I like where your head's at. I definitely thought similar as soon as you see that flame up there. And it clearly looks like there's tons of broken glass around it, like maybe someone did try to put it out. So I wonder if we'll ever see something like that happen. I wonder if we will ever see a character attempt to put out the flame in the lighthouse. And if so, what exactly will be the cause? What will putting this flame out do? But no, I like where your head's at, because I definitely thought similar. And I know a lot of you guys thought similar as well. It's very interesting the way that torch mechanism worked. I still think that the light in the lighthouse holds up the spell over Fromville in some sort of way, and it needs to be destroyed. That's why I think the Ankui kids led her there, almost like the Ankui children were leading her to the lighthouse to potentially do that. That's interesting. Yeah, the Zankui children are incredibly mysterious. We still don't exactly know what were they trying to convey to Tabitha, one, but also what the hell happened to them as well. I mean, we see these children lined up in this, almost sacrificialistic circle on these altar-like stones in a trance-like state, kind of similar to the trance-like state that Julie, Mari, and Randall were in. Only the Ankui children didn't seem to be in like massive writhing pain like they were. They were kind of in a different, kind of trance. But yeah, two huge questions around the Ankui children. What originally happened to them, and why were they appearing to Tabitha? What were they trying to convey to Tabitha? Or what message were they trying to give to Tabitha? Because it doesn't look like they were specifically trying to harm Tabitha. It looks like they were maybe trying to give her some kind of message, but I'm not sure if Tabitha received it. But yeah, what role are they going to play? And did the Ankui children potentially want Tabitha to go to the lighthouse in the first place? That's certainly a possibility, I suppose. Certainly a possibility. I like it. I like it. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down. The people who go looking for answers don't come back. Victor, Tabby, stuck outside now. Yes, that's very true, Michael. Victor did say that the people that go off looking for answers don't come back. And we've all been wondering why Victor has been so hesitant to reveal some of the things that he knows. We know Victor knows a ton of things that he's yet to reveal. But why exactly is he being so cagey? And like you said, Michael, we get a little bit of an insight to that towards the end of season 2 when Victor kind of reveals that he's afraid to reveal too much. He's afraid if he reveals too much and people find out too much of what he knows, it's going to put them in danger. So really, Victor just doesn't want to see anybody else get killed, and he's just a little afraid to reveal too much because it might harm somebody. But yeah, you have to imagine there's so much more that Victor can teach these people, not only about Fromville and how this place works, but about the history of it, what happened during the original massacre of 1978 that the show keeps referencing. There's a reason why they keep going back to that time period, the 1978 time period when Victor was a child right after the massacre. They keep returning to that period because it's going to be very significant for the overall plot, it seems. So yeah, I imagine there's so much that Victor could reveal that he has yet to reveal yet. And at least now we understand a little bit of a reason why he's not so forthcoming, because he is afraid it's going to hurt people. But yeah, he's got to come forward at some point if they are ever going to combat this place and find real answers and potentially find a real way out for everyone. Victor's going to have to come forward and kind of explain everything he knows. And what he doesn't know. We have seen this kind of theme that even in season 1 has been setting up, that Victor's memories are maybe not all quite there, that he has suppressed entire memories that he hasn't even remembered. In season 1, we see his memory come back about the massacre itself. In season 1, episode 4, he hears the dog barking, and that instantly kind of brings back the memory of the massacre. Then Victor runs home to Colony House and he finds the drawing of the massacre, and that, in his mind, confirms that massacre was real and it wasn't a dream. And that's what these drawings are at the end of the day. Victor draws memories down. These are all memories for him. He knows that if he finds something in a drawing, he knows that it was indeed a real memory and it's not just a dream. That's how he differentiates the two. And we saw this happen again in season 2 when he completely suppressed the entire memory of even having a sister in Eloise until he sees her drawings. When he sees the drawings, he instantly knows Eloise is real. I had a sister. So I definitely think that theme is going to continue throughout the show, where Victor is going to keep coming across maybe drawings or something else that kind of jogs his memory, that makes him remember past events that are probably going to be vital into getting some answers. So I do think Victor, we're going to get some nice reveals for Victor in season 3. In particular, we see Victor talking to Sarah in the season 3 trailer. And Victor is specifically saying that I need to remember. And Sarah says, what do you need to remember? And he says, what's missing? So clearly, Victor is going to be on some sort of quest to kind of uncover some missing memories in season 3 by the looks of it. If he's trying to, quote unquote, find what's missing, maybe he's trying to find some missing memories, which we have seen him do in the past. But I'm looking forward to seeing that scene. I feel like we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen any scenes of Victor and Sarah one-on-one together. Just one-on-one scene, Sarah and Victor, them two sharing dialogue. I don't think we've had a single scene where these two shared any dialogue up until now. And if I'm wrong, definitely let me know in the chat. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any scenes out there that are Sarah and Victor scenes where those two interact. I mean, they're both in the diner pretty early on in season 1 when Sarah is serving the Matthews children and Victor comes in to show Ethan the drawing. I think that's the closest we've ever seen those two on screen. But in terms of them two sharing one-on-one dialogue between each other, I don't think they've shared any scenes like that. This might be the first scene between Victor and Sarah. So I'm interested to see how this goes. These are definitely two of the more interesting characters on the show. Both of them seem to be connected to Fromville in a strange and mystical way, whether it's Victor and everything that he knows, and of course Sarah and her tapping into these voices. These are definitely two of the more interesting characters, and to see them finally interact on a one-on-one basis is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to this scene. I am looking forward to this scene. Let's see what else we got. Jeremy, have you heard of a show called The Challenging? I've seen some similarities between that show and From. It's a pretty good show. I have not. No, I've not heard of that show myself, but I'll write it down and I'll check it out, definitely. I am always looking for some good new shows to watch, but no, I've not heard of that. I'll check it out, though. I'll definitely check it out tonight after the stream. If it's similar to From and has some similar aspects to From, then yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I shall check it out. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for the recommendation. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down a little bit, see what you guys are saying down here. In my opinion, the visions of the kids were designed to appeal to Tabitha, looking desperate for help. They appeared excited in Jade's vision because maybe the big bad wants Jade to think child sacrifice is needed. That's interesting. And yeah, in terms of them appearing that way to Tabitha, and I feel like that would be the one thing that would kind of draw Tabitha in, so to speak. We know that Tabitha has an incredibly strong motherly intuition. She's a mother herself, but not only that, she's a grieving mother. She's a mother that just lost her own child. We know that Thomas, young Thomas, which would have been Ethan's younger brother, tragically died a little bit before the show begins. And that is exactly why the Matthews family are even all traveling together in the RV. They're going on one final vacation before the parents break it to Julie and Ethan that they're getting a divorce. And it seems like the death of Thomas is the catalyst of this. Whatever happened, the death of their son seemed to really hurt their marriage to the point where they were considering divorce even. So yes, when you see these wayward children appearing to Tabitha, that's going to spark her interest. Not only her being a mother, but her being a mother that recently lost a child. That is going to be something that's going to get her emotionally invested. If she sees these children popping up all over the place, yes, you can totally understand why she would be very invested in trying to find and rescue these children, especially after what just happened to her own child. So no, it's the perfect kind of thing to kind of tantalize Tabitha and draw her in. So yeah, it's an interesting thought. Let's see what else we got. Victor says, Victor knows that if you say the wrong thing, you will be targeted. Sarah killed Toby before he could say something. There may be an omnipotent being that there hears and sees everything. Yeah, it seems like they are under some kind of surveillance, for lack of better terms. We still don't exactly know how the monsters know everything they know, but they know some intimate details about these survivors. They know their names. They know certain details about their lives. These monsters know a lot. And how exactly do they know what they know? How are monsters getting their information? It does seem like someone or something is watching the town. It's under some sort of surveillance. And we see that again towards the end of season 1 when we talk about the radio and the voice that comes over the radio that Jim hears. We hear the radio specifically say, "Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim." So someone or something knew that Tabitha was down there in the basement digging that hole. So yeah, it definitely seems like they are under some sort of surveillance, for lack of a better term. Now, what exactly is watching them? Who knows? How exactly are the monsters getting their information? We still don't know, but something is definitely keeping tabs on them for sure. And yeah, maybe that's why Victor is a little hesitant to reveal too much because he doesn't want to make people a target. Seems like that might be the case. It does seem like that's the case according to a little bit of the info we got from him in season 2, for sure. Victor and Saracene is going to be fired. I don't know why, but I really am looking forward to this scene. I mean, I'm always interested to see two characters interact with each other that have not previously interacted. That always just adds an interesting dynamic. The first time two characters are interacting on screen, it's always kind of interesting to see how it's going to play out. But yeah, considering that Victor and Sarah are both very kind of entrenched in the more mystical aspects of From, I'm really looking forward to them two kind of sharing their first scene together, or at least their first one-on-one dialogue scene together. So yeah, it should be a fun scene. It should be a fun scenes. Let's see. Peaches were to make Victor forget. He's now starting to remember without them. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting, Hector. I like that. I actually kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, you make a little bit of a point. I mean, Victor has been progressively remembering more since the peaches have died out. I mean, he seems like he's had peaches for the better part of what, 4 decades maybe, or however long that peach truck has been there in Fromville. The peach truck that we see the crazy map in during season 2. But yeah, I mean, could the peaches potentially have been kind of killing Victor's memory? That's interesting. It's an interesting theory. I like it. I like it. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Now I'm confused. Victor said that the guy Christopher used to make them laugh or was funny. So when exactly did the curse/monsters come? I don't see too much laughing in From. Yeah, it is a very interesting part. We do hear Victor Victor rather say that Christopher wasn't always the way he was, that Victor underwent some kind of change. And he does specifically say that he used to make people laugh here, but laughter wasn't always easy to come by. And I think that's why Victor was saying laughter is not always easy to come by, because the monsters were there. And this was back in the day before they had the talismans. So they didn't really have the just added safety of going inside at night, hanging up talisman, and they were all good. During Christopher and Victor's time, they most likely had to kind of probably hide somewhere every night and hope for the best. Or could the night of the massacre have been the very first night the monsters ever even appeared, which some people do think that is the case. It's really hard to tell how long the monsters have been a part of Fromville. Have they been there forever? Have they only been there a few decades? I mean, we do see the clothing that a lot of the monsters are wearing, and a lot of the clothing seems to indicate a kind of 50s, 60s era time period, just based on their clothes anyway. So yeah, it is very interesting. Could that potentially be why the massacre happened? Could the night of the massacre have been the first time the monsters ever emerged, or have they been there the whole time? Is the question that the show hasn't really kind of dived into specifically yet. But no, that was a very interesting kind of line. I took that line to say, when Victor says that laughter was not always easy to come by here, to me, I kind of took that as laughter is hard to come by because the monsters have been here the whole time. There's not many reasons to laugh. So I kind of thought the monsters were already there before Christopher and Victor got there, but who knows? Who knows? But it's an interesting thought. It is an interesting thought to think, when exactly did these monsters arrive? Were they here the whole time? Did they arrive a little bit later? What or who exactly added these monsters into Fromville? Hey, all, I'm on season 2, LOL, so hopefully I'll be all caught up. Have a good chat. That is awesome, Caitlin. I am so glad that you are diving into From. I am so glad that you are enjoying it. And yeah, that's why I try to kind of just scream this show from the top of my lungs, whether it's a House of the Dragon stream, whether we're covering Shogun, anything. I always try to make sure to let everybody know, get out there and check out From. It is the coolest show that is on TV right now. So it's so awesome to see so many of our House of the Dragon people that are diving into From now. So freaking awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I am glad you are enjoying it. Awesome stuff. I think a red comet or a star landed and caused the reality to warp in a way in the town is a runoff belief or magic. The talismans don't need electricity. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Like maybe some sort of red star or comet maybe created the town to begin with. That's an interesting theory, Will. That's an interesting one. I don't think I've heard that one before, but I love hearing a new theory. I like hearing a new theory. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. The channeling was good. It starts. Okay, I'll check it out. Lakeith Stanfield. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of it myself. I've not heard of that show, but I will check it out. It's good and creepy, apparently. The changeling. Yeah, I'll check it out. I will definitely check it out for sure. We got Gooch in the house. What is up, Gooch? Good to see Gooch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see what else we got. Actually, if Tabitha wanted to save the kids, she should have went to the caves, and Jade should be at the lighthouse. Yeah, it should be kind of reverse, shouldn't it? Tabitha is going to this lighthouse thinking she's going to rescue the children, yet Jade is seeing these children down in the caves. So what exactly is going on here? Were the children at the lighthouse at one point, or was that kind of information that Miranda got wrong? Now, again, the only reason Tabitha goes to the lighthouse to rescue the children because she was under the impression that Victor's mother tried to go to the lighthouse to rescue the children as well. So it seemed like Tabitha was working off information from Miranda. But could that information have been wrong? Were the children maybe at one point at the tower and were maybe since moved? But yeah, no, you bring up a very good point. I mean, if she wanted to rescue the children, it seems like maybe the last place the children ever were was maybe down there in that cave with that kind of weird ritual that was happening to them. So no, you make a good point, Xavier. You definitely make a good point. I mean, if she wants to rescue the kids, she's in the wrong place. She is in the wrong place, and I think she's in the wrong time period as well. I think those children are unfortunately long dead, and are maybe even similar entities to the boy in white. Who knows? Who knows? That's why the writing was so good in the finale. Xavier, Tabitha, and Jade did what the other wanted to do. Yeah, it kind of did. It's kind of role reversal there. You see, Jade is wanting to learn a little bit more and more about this symbol in hopes of it finding a way out. And little do we know, we have Tabitha finding an actual way out, going to the lighthouse, where Jade goes down into the caves and finds the children that Tabitha was looking for. So each of them kind of found the thing the opposite was looking for, in a sense. So no, it's kind of ironic, if nothing else. It's a little ironic, if nothing else. The trees are talking, LOL, says Delsenia. Yeah, the trees are another huge, huge mystery. The show has been making these trees very important from the beginning, and not just the faraway trees. We know they are going to have some big importance on the show going forward. I definitely don't think we've seen the end of the faraway trees, but just trees in general. The very first time we see Victor in episode 2 behind Colony House, he's measuring the distance from Colony House to the tree line to see if it's changed. So they have been making so many references to these trees that they are going to play some very important part, and I do believe it'll be more than just the simple faraway tree mechanism. So that's interesting. That was interesting. It was Christopher with Jim on that radio. Now, that's a very cool theory. I do actually like this theory, that it could have potentially been Christopher's voice reaching out to Jim through the radio. And again, I suppose it's as possible as anyone else. I mean, we have no idea who was on the other end of that radio, but Christopher, I suppose, is just as good a guess as anyone else at this point, for sure. We've never really heard Christopher's voice. We've only ever seen him, so we're not quite sure how he sounds. Does he have a kind of slight Southern drawl to him, maybe? Because it seems like the voice that Jim hears, it's not a really Southern twang voice, but it does have a very, 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 very slight kind of Southern dialect to it. Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim. It almost sounds a little bit Midwestern, maybe Southern a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we've never heard Christopher talk. Could that have been his voice? I suppose it's possible. I suppose it is possible. But I really am hoping that that is one of the storylines that they continue a little bit more in season 3, especially after seeing the season 3 trailer. And it looks like Jim is receiving another phone call. Another cryptic phone call from whoever is beyond the grave is calling Jim. And we've been talking about this phone call a lot, both here on the channel and in the Discord. And some of us have been thinking that maybe this phone call that Jim is receiving in season 3 is that same voice that Jim heard at the end of season 1. Or it seems like the trailer at least wants to imply that, maybe. And I think that maybe is the case. I do think whoever's on the other end of this this phone could potentially be the same voice that was on the other end of the radio. But this time, wouldn't it be incredibly creepy if the voice said, "Your wife shouldn't have left, Jim," and then just hangs up? And it could very well give Jim the confirmation that he needs, that Tabitha did indeed escape and she is indeed in the real world. That could be one way that the townspeople find out of that. But I always thought that was a very interesting idea. The first voice he hears on the radio, "Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim." And then he gets this call, 2 seasons later, "Your wife shouldn't have left, Jim." I just think it could be a very creepy and interesting way to kind of tug on that thread a little bit more and hopefully, explore that storyline a little bit more as to who is on the other end of this phone and of that radio. But yeah, it looks like at the very least, Jim is getting some kind of weird cryptic call in season 3, and I'm hoping and praying that it has something to do with the radio voice that he hears at the end of season 1, because that is a storyline they definitely need to start unraveling a little bit more. And it's little mysteries like that they can reveal without revealing the bigger overall mysteries and overall arching plots of the show. It's small little answers like this that they can give us in season 3 that won't spoil too much. So hopefully we can finally learn who is on the other end of the radio at the end of season 1, and if it is the same person that is contacting Jim here in the season 3 trailer. I do think it is the same person. I definitely think it is the same person. But we will find out. We will find out. Let's see what else we got. The fallen tree seems like a fabricated memory implanted in their minds, considering people who came from a desert region, they would suddenly find themselves surrounded by trees in Fromville. Ooh, now that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we have seen the thumbtack map, and it seems to be pretty well spread out, that we've had people getting stuck here in Fromville from all over the states, but we haven't seen any thumbtacks that are coming from anywhere outside of the US. Now, granted, that map was only a map of the US, and it seems like every character that we've met in Fromville, they do seem to be American. We haven't really seen any other nationality characters get stuck here other than the Kenny's family, but Kenny's family was already confirmed to be living in the States. So yeah, it seems like most of the people that are getting stuck here are getting stuck here from the US, but we do see those thumbtacks kind of spreading out all over. So yeah, what if some people are driving through the heart of Nevada and they're kind of surrounded by desert, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're in Fromville. I don't know how that works. I have no idea how that works personally. But no, you make an interesting point about the fallen tree, about it potentially being a construct. But the only thing that kind of might poke a little bit of a hole in that is at the very beginning, in the very first episode, when the Matthews family come upon the tree, Ethan actually stands on top of the tree. He's actually walking on it. So it does seem like it is physically there. Yes, maybe that whole thing is one big implanted memory. I suppose that could be possible. But I feel like the writers do little things like that to specifically confirm or to not confirm certain things to the audience. When I saw Ethan stand on that tree, that tells me that the writers are trying to tell us that this tree is real. It is really there. But who knows? It could have been an implanted memory. That is possible. That is very possible. But no, the tree is a huge kind of enigma in and of itself. I mean, we see everybody, seemingly everyone that gets stuck here in Fromville, they seem to see the tree first. They see the tree, and by the time you see the tree, according to Donna, it's already too late. At that point, you're already stuck here. But we haven't seen anyone try to go beyond the tree. Everyone gets to the tree, they turn around, and they leave. We haven't seen anyone try to go past the tree and continue going forward. We have yet to see that. I know we've talked about this many times, both here on the stream and in the Discord, what exactly could potentially happen if someone tries to go beyond the tree. Some people had some interesting theories that maybe they would get attacked by the crows. Maybe that's why the crows are there, to guard people from going beyond the tree, which is pretty interesting. It's an interesting theory. But yeah, I've always wondered why we haven't seen anyone try to go beyond that tree. Or maybe if they do go beyond that tree and continue down that road, they'll just end up in Fromville the same as if behind them. Maybe that's the case. But I always found it very interesting that no one at least attempts to try and go beyond the tree and see what else is up the road. But maybe one will at some point. Maybe a character will at some point. Let's see what else we got. Donna giving Victor peaches to keep him stupid. What a mole. Donna the mole. Donna the mole is returning. Yeah, Donna, a lot of people thought Donna was very sus during season 2. It's, her kind of popping up in the right place at just the right time, kind of super sus. Just happens to pop up right when the smiley body is in the clinic. When does Donna ever go to the medical clinic? Never. Yeah, a lot of people thought Donna was sus during season 2, and maybe she is. Maybe she is. Who knows? Maybe Donna is the secret mole the whole time. I think the monsters have been around for the whole time, or at least for the whole time, or at least the whole time. Their human form is more recent. Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, could their human form have been something they adapted along the way, and maybe that, because it seems like the monster form is their true form, because when Smiley dies, he reverts back to his monster form, not his human form. So it does seem like that weird monsterish form that is their true form, and that they kind of disguise themselves as humans. And maybe the disguise part is a little more period correct. Maybe, I don't know how the whole thing works. But I always thought it was very interesting how the clothing that they're wearing seems to be very period correct, very time specific. Are they trying to tell us something about that? But no, that's an interesting question. How long have the monsters been there? How old are the monsters? Are they as old as their clothing indicates, or could they potentially be much, much older? I don't know. I do not know. I suppose it could be either. But maybe that's something we'll learn a little bit more about. I do believe we have gotten some information in terms of I do believe I read in an interview a while back that at some point we will get the reveal of how the monsters were created. That is an answer that will be coming at some point. Now, when it comes, I have no idea, but it does seem like at some point they are going to be revealing how these monsters were created. And I hope so. I really hope so. Because it's definitely one of the bigger questions I feel like a lot of us definitely have. We got Robert Saunders for $10. Wow, thank you so much, Robert Saunders, for the $10. Jeremy, Kiwi Skirt finally just revealed her theory in the Discord and in your live. How long have we been discussing theories and ideas, and now we finally know her theory? Spoiler, it's aliens. Okay. Okay, let me check the Discord. Let me check the Discord, and let's see what we can see. Where am I looking? Where am I looking? Is it in the tinfoil theory part? Just to make Robert Saunders happy, LOL, aliens have taken humans and are testing them on what they do under certain circumstances, pulling from history and people's memories to create things. Ooh, interesting, Kiwi. Interesting indeed. That maybe this is all one giant alien experiment, and yeah, it's just it's a very highly evolved stress test at the end of the day. Let's see how humans operate, how they function when we throw them into high stress environments, which is tests that people do in the real world all the time. Not to this extent, of course, but there are real tests like this that happen all the time where people will observe humans under various different conditions to see how humans react to certain situations. And that I mean, Jim very early on thought this whole thing could be some kind of big messed up experiment. And maybe that was hinting to something a little bit greater. Maybe there is some kind of big experiment being ran here where something is watching all of these characters and bringing these characters here unwittingly to just simply see how will they react under these circumstances. And if it is aliens, could that potentially be a precursor to an invasion even? Maybe there's some invasion force coming on the way and they want to see exactly what they will be up against invading this planet. So they come up with this perfect little experiment. Let's grab a handful of your regular everyday humans, throw them into this extraordinary situation, and let's see how they react. No, it's interesting. I like it. I like it. And it definitely could potentially be possible. We have seen a lot of things that indicate that something bigger is going on here. And maybe that's it. Maybe there's one giant big experiment going on here, and we're just meant to see how humans are going to react under these crazy, crazy, stressful environments. Interesting theory. Very interesting theory, Kiwi. I like it. And thank you so much, Robert Saunders, for the $10. And thank you for bringing it to my attention. Very much appreciate that. I feel like you guys both deserve a whoa for that. So cover your ears, gents. A whoa is on the way for Robert and Kiwi Skirt.
Whoa!
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But no, it's an interesting theory. I like it. I like it. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe this whole thing is one giant experiment to see how humans react under certain conditions, maybe. And if that is the case, why exactly are they doing this experiment? And could it be some kind of precursor to some kind of invasion? It's possible. Personally, I hope that's not the case. I'm really hoping that the show has a little bit more of a mystical and magical kind of explanation as opposed to it just being kind of hard sci-fi aliens. I feel like that could be cool if it's a spin on aliens that we haven't seen before. That could be pretty interesting. But just me personally, I'm really hoping that this show is heading a little bit more into the mystical, magical type realm, and it's not just strictly sci-fi. I know the show is characterized as sci-fi, but I mean, character designations on shows these days are all but useless considering how many shows blend in entirely different genres together. So just because the show is labeled as sci-fi doesn't necessarily mean it will be a sci-fi explanation, pretty much. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we will wait and see. Could we potentially have an alien experiment happening? Maybe. Maybe. We got 5 for Choco Beauty. Thank you so much for the 5. In the New Testament, the number 7 symbolizes the unity of the 4 corners of the earth with the Holy Trinity. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. Another 5 also appears in the book of Revelations, where it represents 7 churches, 7 angels, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 stars. Oh, wow. 7's all over the place, huh? Interesting. Interesting. And yeah, could they be trying to sprinkle all of these 4s and 7s? Could they potentially be trying to hint at something kind of book of Revelations-esque? It definitely seems like the show is pulling from multiple different sources of inspiration in terms of they're throwing some Native American lore in there, they're throwing some Norse mythology in there, and they're definitely throwing tons of biblical references in this show. So it does seem like they're drawing on many different faiths and lores for inspiration to kind of throw into the show. And yes, ever since we heard Father Cautry talk about they are potentially living the 74th book of Revelations, that this is the 74th book of Revelations, and potentially that's why there's no Bible in the town, because I always thought that was very interesting too. I mean, they got tons of books in this town, from old novels, almost everything you could think of, but not a single Bible. especially when you start to think that a lot of the people and a lot of the stuff that is here has been from people that are traveling. You mean to tell me out of all the people that got trapped here in Fromville, not one of them had a little pocket-sized Bible on them? Very interesting how there's not a single Bible. But no, that's very interesting. And we know that season 3, towards the end of season 3, the last 3 episodes, the title of the episodes are Revelations. So yeah, maybe you're onto something. Could we be diving a little bit into the Revelations territory, and could that potentially reveal something for the overall themes of the show in the town? Maybe. I don't know, but that's a very interesting one. And thank you so much for the super chats as well. And you guys know what that means. I owe another whoa to the chat.
Whoa!
Thank you. But no, that's very interesting. That is very interesting, especially when you consider that, we are seeing these 4s and 7s all over the place. And I have to think it's going to play some kind of prevalent role in the overall plot eventually. We got another 5. Wow, thank you so much. Hinduism, the number 7 represents 7 higher worlds and 7 underworlds. Ooh, okay. And in Buddhism, the 7 steps taken by a newborn Buddha. Ooh, interesting. I like the Hinduism reference there. I very much like the Hinduism reference there, because it definitely we're looking at this place, this Fromville place. And what exactly is it? Is it some kind of pocket dimension? Is it some kind of as above, so beneath world thing going on here? What exactly is this place? But if the number 7 represents a quote unquote higher worlds and 7 underworlds, could this be one of the 7 underworlds even? That's interesting. Very interesting stuff. See, this is why I love these streams. I feel like you guys teach me something new every single time I go live, and I'm so appreciative of that. I love learning about other cultures and other faiths. But no, I like it. I like it. I really like the Hinduism aspect. And in Buddhism, the 7 steps taken by a newborn Buddha. And in terms of the whole newborn Buddha, we do see that there is a quote unquote newborn on the way. Fatima is indeed pregnant, and we know that her pregnancy is under very strange circumstances. She was dead set convinced that she could not get pregnant. We're definitely getting some interesting foreshadowing from Ellis in terms of him keep having this reoccurring thought of the baby being born with fangs and claws. So no, I like it. I like what you're laying down. And again, I always love learning something new. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you. I feel like you deserve some extra glitter for that. Extra glitter coming your way. Thank you. But no, I like the biblical references, and I love the references to other faiths and other cultures. And it does seem like the creators of From, at the very least, it seems like they're very well read on a lot of different faiths and cultures, just giving the melting pot of all of the things that they're kind of throwing into the show. Again, from the biblical references, from the Native American references, the Norse mythology, and even the kind of Scottish and English folklore with the whole fae theories that have been going around lately. They definitely seem to be drawing on a lot of real world faiths and mythologies to kind of throw into the show. And I love that. I love when a show kind of draws on real world mythology and kind of weaves it into their fantasy world. Very interesting. I like it. Soph says Tabitha was lured to the lighthouse by the boy in white using the Ankui children, and that's a very good point, Soph. That is what kind of lures Tabitha to the lighthouse in the first place. But even physically, when she actually gets to the lighthouse, the closer she gets to the top, she can hear the Ankui children saying Ankui, Ankui, Ankui. So it does seem like that was very deliberate and very specific. You can literally hear, and I'll play the clip again for anybody who wants to hear it. Keep an ear out. You can actually hear when she gets closer to the top, the boy in white, I don't know if it's the boy in white projecting the sound, but she definitely hears the Ankui children beckoning her to the top of this lighthouse.
sorry. I really am. This is the only way.
Oof, yeah. The Yankui children lured her right up there to go right out the window. So yeah, she's they had their hooks in Tabitha with these Ankui children, knowing that Tabitha is a mother, knowing that she just recently lost a child of her own. These Ankui children were the perfect lure to get Tabitha somewhere where the boy in white needed her. So yeah, maybe the boy in white was sending the visions of the Ankui children to Tabitha in the first place. Maybe Tabitha seeing the Ankui children was the boy in white's plan. Maybe the boy in white set all of this up just to lure Tabitha to the tower. Very possible. Very possible. Let's see what else we got. It appears Tabby may be in Camden, Maine. Yeah, it seems like that might be the case, or at least that's been a very popular theory since season 2 ended. A lot of people have been analyzing the view that Tabitha looks right out the hospital window, and a lot of people seem to think that it could be Camden, Maine. And being from the Northeast myself, I live in New England. I can't confirm that is Camden, Maine, but I can confirm that is exactly what your average kind of coastal, like New England, northeastern town would look like. So if that view is of Camden, Maine, it would fit 100%. Like again, I can point to 10 different towns in the surrounding area to mine that have similar kind of coastal town vibes like that. So being from the Northeast, if she is in Camden, Maine, the aesthetic that they're going for is dead on. It's absolutely perfect that you would expect from a kind of Maine coastal sea town like that. Based on the view, and because the new ambulance says Knox County. Oh, okay, interesting. I didn't know the ambulance. I didn't check the ambulance out. Knox County. Camden is in Knox County. Okay, so that's even more evidence that she could potentially be in Camden, Maine. In my opinion, Acosta found Tabby and will tell them she got out. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. And Acosta is the new cop, one of the new characters that is going to be in season 3. Now, we do see the ambulance in the trailer, and we do see this new cop character. Here's the ambulance right here. And we can see the Acosta character a little bit earlier. A little bit. Here she is. Here is the cop Acosta. And here we can see the ambulance driver seems to already be dusted. But no, that's an interesting theory that maybe the cop is from the same town that Tabitha was kind of spit out into. And could this cop even potentially have come across Tabitha? I mean, I guess you could make that definitely assumption, especially considering Tabitha kind of just pops up out of the blue, out of nowhere. We hear that a couple of hikers found her on a trail, and next thing we know, boom, she's in a hospital dead. That is definitely something that the police would follow up on, 100%. And especially later on, once they find out that Tabitha was a missing persons, because we do know Tabitha and the entire Matthews family have been missing. So no, that is definitely something that could easily line up and correlate in terms of this potentially being the cop that maybe was sent to the hospital to question Tabitha. So no, I like that theory. I like that theory, Julie. That's a very interesting one. And like you said, with the whole ambulance having Knox on it as well, and that being a place in Camden, Maine, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah, it could be even more evidence that Tabitha is in Camden, Maine, and is in the real world. I like it. I like it. Good eye. Very good eye, Julie. I like that. It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this new character, Acosta. I mean, it seems like we have 2 prevalent new characters in season 2: Acosta the cop, and the character that Tabitha is going to be meeting in the real world, the one whose house she travels to, where we see the Ankui children painting in the basement. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing these 2 new characters and what kind of connections they have to other people in Fromville, because we have started to notice there are kind of some small connections between some of these characters. So no, I like it, Julie. That's some very good detective work. You got your Batman cowl on. 100. You have earned your Batman cowl on that one. Very, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. And yeah, Camden, Maine has been a very big, it's probably been one of the heaviest fan theories out there in terms of where Tabitha might have ended up, just based on the simple view out of the hospital window, which again, it definitely looks like your average coastal town, being from the Northeast myself. So it could fit. A lot of these pieces could very well fit. It could just be, like you said, more evidence that she is in Camden, Maine. I like it. I like it. Interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting the new cop and seeing this ambulance arrive. It seems like the ambulance is arriving at night, which is going to present a myriad of problems in and of itself. You know, when someone has the added benefit of arriving here in Fromville during the day, they at least have some time to get warned as to what is coming, like the Matthews family and like Jade and even Boyd's family. Boyd's family arrived just as it was starting to get dark, so Father Cautry had just enough time to convince them to get down in the hole right before the monsters came. But arriving at night, it's a totally different ball game. I mean, we hear the story from Donna early on in season 1 about how her and her sister arrived at night, and the monsters were already out, and that's unfortunately what got her sister killed when she approached one of them. So yeah, this is our first nighttime arrival that we're seeing since that was referenced early in season 1. We haven't seen a night arrival. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out. And it does look like we see some of our characters do leave the confines of their safe, either home or, in Randall's case here, his safe bus, because it does look like Randall is back on the bus in some of the trailers in season 3. But yeah, this is going to be very interesting, seeing this ambulance arrive at night, and how exactly Boyd and the rest of the survivors are going to get Acosta to safety. Because it seems like Acosta is going to survive, although it seems like the ambulance driver doesn't. It looks like Acosta is going to be a prominent, not a prominent character, but a new character on the show. So Acosta, the cop, will probably not die in this encounter. And like Julie, and to Julie's theory, maybe she will even be the one that has some information as to Tabitha getting out. Maybe she sees a picture of Tabitha somewhere in the Matthews home or something else, and maybe that kind of jogs her memory, like, oh, hey, I know that lady. I've seen that lady. And maybe that's how Jim and the rest of the town find out. Could be. Very interesting theories. I like it. Good stuff, Julie. Very good stuff. Very good stuff indeed. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down here a little bit more. Jack was always so serious. LOL. I love Hurley. Yeah, Jack was always very, very serious. Every once in a while, you need a Sawyer or a Hurley character to kind of lighten the mood. Interesting stuff. Wouldn't it be great if the ambulance said Derry, Maine? That would be hilarious. That would be absolutely hilarious. We know Stephen King is a big fan of the show, and Stephen King and one of the directors are incredibly good friends. Jack Bender, one of the main directors on From, he directs tons of episodes. He and Stephen King are incredibly good friends. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a Stephen King kind of wink and a nod, maybe a little Stephen King reference somewhere. I can't wait for the It TV series, the Derry, Maine TV series that's going to be coming to HBO pretty soon. Bill Skarsgård is reprising his role as Pennywise, and I feel like he's been a great Pennywise. So the It show, we might cover that show here on the channel. If that's something that enough of you will be watching, we might cover some of the It show when it does eventually come around, because I'm a huge, huge Stephen King fan. Absolutely huge Stephen King fan. And yeah, absolutely, Choco Beauty. From really is, it's a love letter to Stephen King in some ways. You're absolutely right. In terms of some of the themes and some of the plots, the monsters, it very much seems like it is like Stephen King was probably a huge influence on this show as a whole. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's kind of like their love letter to Stephen King in a way. So many references. I definitely agree. 100%. Has anyone read the Celestine Prophecy, or the second book in the series, The 10th Insight? I have not myself, no. I must admit I've not heard of it. I'll look it up, though, and I will add it to my list. I think there may be something similar to the 10th Insight going on, which also has to do with energy source. Ooh, interesting. Interesting, okay. All right, I'll have to mark that down, and I'll have to check out those books. I'm always on the hunt for a good new book series. Okay, I will check that out. I will check that out. I have not heard of it yet myself, personally, but I'll check it out. I'll check it out. It's a screwed up book. You can tell he was on coke when he wrote it. When the other random orgy starts, says Tyler B. Okay, now I want to check it out even more. Shit. Now I want to check it out even more. All right, yeah, I'll add that to the list. Like, again, I'm always looking for some good new books, for sure. I wonder if we are getting any new trailers before the premiere, and I've been wondering that too. I mean, we are getting closer and closer now to season 3. Yes, we're still a month away. Now, if I was in charge of the promotion for this show, I would probably put out one more small teaser trailer, not a full big 2-minute one like they just did, but if I was handling promotion for this show, I would definitely at least put out one more small teaser when you get around 2 weeks out. You get, around 2 weeks away from the show actually airing, throw out one more little teaser trailer, really maximize that hype as much as you possibly can. That way you're heading into that first episode on a very high note and some momentum. Because we've seen what happens to the fandom every time they release a teaser or a trailer for this show. We go nuts for it. We start analyzing every little frame. We start diving deep into it. So that's what I would do personally. I would definitely release at least one more small teaser around 1 week, 2 weeks or so before the show actually premieres. Will we actually get that? I have no clue. I feel like it's 50-50 at this point, whether or not we'll get some more promotional material before the show premieres. It could potentially just premiere as is. I mean, if, like BK mentioned earlier, if they're already being kind of cagey on even revealing the episode synopsis, then maybe they don't want to reveal any more than they already have. Maybe revealing any more will reveal too much and spoil some certain aspects of the show. So it's possible we might not get any more trailers, but I'm really hoping we at least get one more kind of small teaser right around the 2-week part, right around the 2-week mark. I'm hoping. I am hoping. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Randall tries to save the ambulance and is getting shot. It's going to be hilarious if that happens. I know that was, I mean, it does look like he is on the ground kind of writhing in pain. Now, and is that because the cop mistakes Randall for another one of these monsters and accidentally shoots him? I mean, it could be pretty interesting. That could be a pretty interesting series of events if that is the case. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Acosta has a patch on her jacket with a bow. Camden's police emblem also has a bow. Okay, interesting. If she met Tabby, could be how From residents will be tantalized by the very possibility of escape. Yeah, if that's how they find out how Tabitha escaped, then yes, that at least puts into their head that escape is a real possibility, which we do know is going to be one of the themes of season 3. Like you said, Julie, John Griffin specifically said that escape will be a very real and tantalizing thing that the survivors are going to have to deal with in season 3. But how exactly do they know escape is even going to be possible unless they find out Tabitha did indeed escape and that she's not just lost or dead somewhere? And yeah, maybe that could be it. Maybe Acosta has seen Tabitha in Camden, Maine, if they're from the same town. Stands a very strong possibility that Acosta, as a cop, would have been sent to the hospital to question this random lady who just popped up out of nowhere. So no, it could be possible. And then, when you add the boat logo on her arm and that is on the police force for Camden, interesting. Very interesting connections there. I like it. 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 Oh, geez. Oh, geez. The monsters behind door 1, Amber Heard. Behind 2 is a monster. Which door do you open? Oof. I don't know. That's a tough question. I hope Randall gets his freak on. Sorry, I must be getting tired. Yeah, Randall. I mean, I feel like when it comes to Randall, I'm one of I'm kind of on the fence for his character. Yes, he's done a lot of shitty things, but I'm wondering if there is in any possible way some kind of redemption for Randall. Is it possible for Randall to find redemption eventually? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, and this is something we've talked about. I know, a few times here on the channel in terms of will Randall's run-in with the cicada entity, will that whole experience wake Randall up in a sense? Will he finally start to realize just the real dangers of this place? Or will Randall continue to be the same old asshole that he is? I don't know. I feel like it could go either way. I feel like it could go either way. Um, I'm hoping that at some point Randall does have some kind of redemption arc. It would be interesting to see him turn into a kind of reliable character. But I don't know. I don't know at this point if Randall has redemption ahead of him or if it's just going to be more of the same from him. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes, for sure. Love me some Sawyer. He's the Jade of Lost. They both have the best lines. Yeah, in terms of like the quippy one-liners, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Jade has a lot of the really good one-liners that Sawyer had in Lost.
All right, ding-dongs. It's almost go time. Anybody fucks this up, you spend a night in the box.
Anybody fucks this up, you're spending a night in the box. Definitely something that Sawyer would say, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Let's see what else we got. And welcome, Rob the Replicator. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, without a doubt, it definitely seems to be, part of it is definitely a love letter to Stephen King. You can see, I mean, his influence is all over this series. And again, with him and Jack Bender being such close friends, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some more Stephen King Easter eggs from time to time. For sure. For sure. It is a screwed up book. You can tell he was on coke when he wrote it with the random orgy starts. Yeah, I'll have to check this book out. Again, I haven't even heard of it myself, but I'll have to check it out. I will have to check it out. Yay, I love it. The movies are one of my favorites from Stephen King and the classic miniseries. Psyched that you might want to cover that series. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Stephen King. It's like Stephen King stuff is just, it's so fun. And, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit partial, kind of being from the same area that he is. Very much why I'm a huge Lovecraft fan as well. Lovecraft kind of grew up in a similar area I did. But yeah, Stephen King is just, the dude's the master. The dude is an absolute master, whether it's film, novel, novella, he is an absolute master. So yeah, anything even tangentially Stephen King related, we'll definitely at least be talking about here on the show. So I'll probably be covering a little bit of the Dairy Show. If I don't do episode reviews for every single episode, then at the very least I will be doing some live streams on the Dairy Show, on the It Show when it comes around. Can't get enough Stephen King for sure. I did a lot of research on the tattoo on the old white Marine Boyd finds chained up. It's a tattoo from the Civil War and is similar to the Edge World anchor tattoo modern day Marines have. Yes, the last Ronin. Very interesting. And yeah, we were looking at two as well during season 2. I'm not as much of an expert on these things. My co-host Aldous, though, he's very much he's very well versed on a lot of these things, and he came to a similar conclusion as well, that Marine tattoo seems to be a mixture of kind of Civil War era style stuff with a little bit of modern mixed in as well. So he was of a similar mind as you, Last Ronin. So yeah, what exactly does that mean? I mean, how old is this dude Martin? Is he even a real dude to begin with, or was that one giant kind of setup to kind of entice Boyd or to create a kind of personal connection between Boyd and this character? Because I have to imagine, whatever the entity, whoever's in charge of this place, I have to imagine they know Boyd was in the armed services himself, that Boyd served, and he has to know that he's not going to leave any man behind if he sees a fellow armed service member in this kind of predicament. that is the perfect kind of thing to create that emotional and personal investment between Boyd and this character. So yeah, throwing that kind of marine tattoo, perfect thing to draw Boyd in. The perfect thing to draw Boyd in. But yeah, Martin in and of himself is just a huge question mark. There's been a lot of theories surrounding Martin as opposed to who he is, what he is. Was Martin even a real person, or was this one giant elaborate scheme set up by the entity in order to get Boyd to leave with the worms? I don't know. It's there's a lot of really good evidence pointing to kind of both theories, whether it's Martin's a real person or Martin is just a figment of Boyd's imagination or a trick played on Boyd by the entity. I don't know. I feel like it could go either way. I feel like it could go either way. One thing we know for certain, Boyd definitely left that place with those worms. He did come in contact with something. He did get infected by something, and he did free this entity and brought it back to town. Those things we know for sure. But the in-between gets a little bit hazy when you start really analyzing some of the details of Boyd's trip to that place with Martin. There's a lot of freaky stuff going on there. But no, interesting. Very interesting stuff. And well done on the research, Last Ronin. Well done. Well done indeed. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down a little bit. I haven't watched any teaser. I want to go in raw. Yeah, and some people do. Some people don't even like watching the teasers, which is totally cool. Especially these days too, sometimes teasers and trailers can unwittingly reveal a little bit too much. And this was a big problem during House of the Dragon, or at least for me. Maybe it's because I'm a book reader. I notice these things kind of right away. But in some of the trailers for House of the Dragon, when they were doing the trailers for next week's episode, sometimes they would throw some scenes in there that were just incredibly big spoilers, things that were probably better saved to be revealed in the episode itself. So I totally understand that there's actually a good portion of people out there who don't even watch trailers anymore. They kind of just want to go in clean. So yeah, I mean, it provides for a more interesting experience, if nothing else. If you don't watch any of the trailers going in, you're not going to be anticipating certain scenes to happen. Like us who have watched the trailers, there's certain scenes that we're very much looking forward to now because we already know they're coming. But if you don't know anything that's coming, I imagine it probably adds just to the level of excitement and the surprise when some of these bigger, more shocking moments do come around. Like in terms of that big scene that they showed in that very first teaser between Boyd and the barn and all that. Like that is going to be a very big scene that a lot of us that have watched that teaser, we're going to be anticipating that scene as we're watching. But like you said, Rob, if you kind of go in just clean, not watching any of the teasers or trailers, it probably adds just a whole new level of experience kind of finding these things out as they come along. And that way you're not anticipating a certain scene to happen at a certain time. So yeah, going in clean can definitely have its benefits. It can definitely have its benefits going in having not watched the trailers, for sure. For sure. And maybe that's why so many do it. Maybe that is why so many do it. Let's see what else we got. Bet they release another trailer Labor Day weekend. That would be a pretty good time to do it. You know, right around there, you're getting a little bit closer to the show. Let's get one final big promotional push right before the show starts. It just makes sense, again, especially considering the show was off the air for such a long time because of the writer's strike. They lost some momentum that they definitely need to kind of regain again. So yeah, I feel like that would be a really good choice. Once we're getting a little bit closer to the show actually premiering, give us one final teaser trailer, really maximize the hype heading into season 3. I think it could really help. I definitely think it could really help. Will we get any more trailers? I don't know. Again, 50-50 at this point, but it'd be nice if we did get one more. It would be nice if we did get one more. Let's see what else we got. Good to see the channel doing well. Nice one, Jeremy. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate it, my friend. You and I have been friends for a while, and I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that, man. And I don't see you nearly as often as I should. Once From season 3 comes around, I got to get you on here. I got to get you on panel talking about some of these episodes with me. But thank you, man. I very much appreciate that. Certainly trying. Certainly trying. Let's see what else we got. I'm glad I haven't got the 2 episodes early. I don't want to wait 6 weeks to watch a new episode. Yeah, and I'm the kind where I really enjoy watching every episode weekly with everyone else, to the point where even if I was offered early access, I would probably deny it and say, I very much appreciate the offer, but I am going to decline. Just because I don't want to watch the episodes in advance. I love watching this episode week after week with everybody. So if I were to get offered early access, I would probably deny it. I probably wouldn't even accept it. Because it's just more fun. I mean, it's more fun when you're going into the show clean, as opposed to seeing all of the episodes early and then still doing episode reviews on each episode. It gets a little sticky for me personally. So I just like going in clean. So I probably wouldn't accept any early access, even if it was offered. As grateful as I would be for the opportunity to review it early, I love watching this show weekly with each and every one of you. It just adds to the excitement, it adds to the experience, and it adds to the overall ride of watching From. Like, we get on here, we do our watch parties on Sundays, we talk about it live afterwards, we talk about it in the Discord afterwards. I wouldn't have anywhere near as much fun if I was doing that, having already seen the first 2 or 3 episodes and everybody else is only on episode 1. I love it how when everyone's on the same playing field and we're all kind of watching the show together and discovering it together as we go. So yeah, as cool as early access can be, it's just not my kind of thing personally. I love watching the show week after week with each and every one of you, finding out these mysteries together, as opposed to getting an early sneak peek. Just my personal preference. Not that I have anything against any early access channels that do get early access. That is totally cool. Just for me, just not my thing, I guess. I really enjoy watching weekly personally with everybody else. Because it does, yeah, like you said, Daryl, it feels like we're all kind of, solving this thing together, and that's very much how I approach From. I definitely don't approach it as this person's right, this person's wrong, this person said that, this person said that. I try to just look at it like we're all trying to solve this crazy mystery together as a whole. And it makes it more fun that way. You know what I mean? If I had a chance to see the episodes early, I feel like it would take away from the experience, just for me personally as a fan and as someone who really loves the show. I just very much enjoy watching it weekly with each and every one of you and kind of going on this ride together, as opposed to getting an early sneak peek. Just my personal preference. Just my personal preference. And what is up, Real? Good to see you, my friend. I agree. I'm a fan first. I don't want spoilers. And that's absolutely, man. I 100% agree with you. It's like, I'm a fan of this show first. Yes, I love the YouTube aspect. I love covering the show. It's an absolute blast. And I only cover shows that I absolutely love talking about. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan first at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be a fan before I'm a content creator. So yeah, I don't want the spoilers. I don't want to know what's coming. Let's watch every episode as they come around. That's just my personal preference. But again, nothing against any other channel that gets early access. If you get early access, that is awesome. Just not my thing, I guess. Just not my thing personally. But yeah, I love it. I cannot wait. We are getting closer and closer now, guys. Season 3 is just around the corner now. We are less than 1 month away. Less than 1 month away. And I'm sure most of you are probably already subscribed to Real's channel, but if you're not, definitely subscribe to Real. Real, I'm going to make you a mod. That way you have the ability to drop your link in the chat anytime you want. Again, I'm sure most of you are probably already subscribed to him, but just in case you're not, get over there and subscribe to Real Enigmas and Theories, another phenomenal channel that is out there covering From, and another awesome place to hang out at as well. But yeah, it's just, I'm always going to be a fan of the show first. I don't want to know what's coming ahead of time. I want to watch this thing weekly along with each and every one of you. It just adds to the excitement for me as a fan personally. But yeah, here we go, folks. We are getting closer and closer. Season 3 just around the corner. Hell yes, the hype is real. The hype is real, ladies and gentlemen. And again, coming off a kind of less than stellar second season of House of the Dragon, which is another show I very much love. I love House of the Dragon. I love that world. But I was a little bit disappointed with how season 2 of House of the Dragon ended. It left me with a bit of a just incomplete and unfulfilled feeling. So that is just making me want to see From that much more, because I know From is going to be bringing it with season 3. I have so much faith in the show, so much faith in the creatives and the writers and the directors behind it. They are going to put forth a very good product. I'm very confident of that. And we are getting closer and closer now, guys. Season 3 is just around the corner. Yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But I am going to get ready to close it down now. I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out here this evening. And if anyone wants to continue the conversation, I might jump into the Discord in a little bit, and I might jump into the voice chat. And if I do, anybody is welcome to come in there and join me and hang out for a little bit and talk some season 3 predictions if you guys want. I'll try and hang out in the voice chat for a little bit, but if you guys want to come and hang out, you are more than welcome to come and join us. So if you haven't joined the Discord yet, hop on into the Fromville Discord. It's so fun in there. There's always something popping off, whether it's fans theorizing, theory crafting, and all of the other shows that we talk about here on the channel. There's tons of stuff in that Discord to kind of dive into. But I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. You guys have been so supportive of me and all of the From channels, Reels, Movie Guru, everybody that's been covering this show. It's just so awesome that this show is starting to get some real traction. I love that they're finally hitting up New York and San Diego Comic-Con, which are the two biggest Comic-Cons in the United States. So that is definitely going to bring a ton of new eyes to the show and new fans. So it's just awesome to see that this show is continuing to grow year after year after year. And the more people talking about this show, the more people screaming from the rooftops about how awesome From is, the better. So I want to thank each and every one of you, whether you guys are hanging out here in the chat, whether you guys are creating From content yourself. I can't thank each and every one of you guys enough for championing this show and trying to spread the word about how awesome From is. I just can't thank each and every one of you enough. You guys are freaking awesome. This is the best fandom I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of a lot of fandoms in my day, but I must say the From fandom is very unique in terms of just how warm and welcoming and how cool everybody is. And you don't see the kind of darker side of some other fandoms here in From. I don't see any of that for the most part. So I can't thank each and every one of you enough. You guys have fostered such a welcoming environment here on these From channels, and I just can't thank you enough for that. That has been one of the most important things that we try to do here on this channel is we want everybody to feel welcome. It doesn't matter your background, your creed, none of that matters. As long as you're a fan of the show and you want to have some fun, everybody is welcome here. And that's the thing that we try to push, the positivity. And this fandom has been so positive in return. I just can't thank each and every one of you enough for all the support. But we are going to close it down now. But again, if anybody wants to hop into the Discord and join me on the voice chat and hang out and talk some From for a little bit, I probably won't be in there long. But everybody, of course, is welcome to jump on in there. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe in this crazy, crazy world that we find ourselves in. Be kind to one another. And as always, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks. And I will see you tomorrow night right here on the channel for our regular scheduled Saturday night show, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we will be diving into Season 3 mysteries and the biggest unanswered questions on From. So until next time, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks. And we will see you on the next one.